In 2005, 2 years after his election, the first time, 3 years, he brought a referendum. He was defeated in that referendum. You remember Banana Orange? He was defeated. He dissolved the entire cabinet. He was left with the old man. It's a Moody Award or something. Yeah. So what is happening around here is something that has happened before. And why President Kibaki and President Ruto? Ask yourself why. It is because any transformative leader who has an idea of what to do about key sectors that define a country's transformation, many times the decisions that leader has to make to transform the country are usually unpopular. They are not popular. Populist leaders make popular decisions. Okay? I'll give you an example. This universal health care that we are focused on implementing is not the invention of Kenya Kwanza. Professor Kithaka and the others, the scholars, will tell you, President Kibaki intended to bring universal health coverage when Charity Ngilo was minister. Aka-introduce the topic, siasa kama hii ikakuja, Kibaki retreated. Ikakufa. President Uhuru had universal health care in his manifesto. I'm part of the team that wrote that manifesto, the first term. Akaona it's very unpopular because you have to increase the levies that you're charging people and so forth. Akaikalia first term. He thought he can introduce it in second term when he's going home because he will not be looking for re-election. So in 2018, Aka announced the Big Four agenda. One of them was universal health coverage. Cecily Kariuki was the minister for health. Siasa ikakuja, Uhuru backtracked. I remember Uhuru asking us, sisi tuko na insurance? Kama watu wamekataa health insurance, sisi tuko na insurance? Alafu akauliza deputy yake that time. I just overheard, nilikuwa area tu, nilikuwa hapo, sikuwa karibu. Nikasikia akauliza deputy yake, "Hey William, si mimi na wewe tuko na nyumba? Hii housing program, kwa sababu housing ilikuwa kwa Big Four ya Uhuru pia, isn't it? Si wewe uko na nyumba na mimi niko na nyumba. Hii manyumba ni ya nini, tuwache?" Wakawacha. Brothers and sisters, I'll shortly tell you what housing and what a health insurance for every Kenyan means to the economy and to household incomes in a short while. But before I do that, I want to say for the last 2 years, President Ruto has struggled with what we call macroeconomic stability. Macroeconomic stability means, for those who are not experts like myself, I'm not also an expert in the economy, but I have learned from the experts. Macroeconomic stability are the fundamental, foundational economic growth indicators that must be in place before you start now building the growth of the economy. One indicator is the strength.
Yes, that is Kithure Kindiki. Of course, he is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. He has been quiet after Raila joined the government, but he has been always defending the government. They are saying, Kenyans are saying he is a yes Deputy President. He cannot try to defend the country the way Gachagua used. Some of the implementations that are being witnessed in the country, he cannot even stop them, like what we are having problem with the SHA. Most of Kenyans are complaining that a lot of projects are not in safe hands, and maybe some of the people are being the beneficiary when it comes to these projects that are being implemented, and others are meant to vandalize. Others are meant to channel the money for the Kenyans to their own pocket. And that is what Gachagua, of course, he has been trying to stimulate the government. Kithure Kindiki, the issue of Kithure Kindiki after Raila joined the government is still intact. We have not seen him in the public presence. But today we saw him when they were welcoming the Queen and the King of, that is the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, that is the Holland. They were in the State House, and today we also saw Raila Odinga in the State House, something that has caused a lot of chaos in the social media. Raila now has joined the government. After what we witnessed the other day, it's now official that Raila has joined the government, and he has been waiting for long to step in the State House, but now he is there, and other members are still in the State House, that is the judiciary, and also other members of parliament, executive. They're not in the government. There is no opposition. Kalonzo Musyoka is trying. Gachagua is still trying. Martha Karua is still trying. But the opposition is not there. We are witnessing a lot of challenges in the country, whereby Kenyans are being pressurized by the government because some of these projects that are being launched in the country, they are meant for specific people, and also when we are having problems with the sensitive ministries, that is the Ministry of Agriculture, Minister of Health, Minister of Education, and also Minister of Transport. Those are key ministries that needs a lot of energy, that needs someone who is very serious, a lot of concentration, because if at any point we are having a down performance when it comes to these sensitive ministries, then most of Kenyans are going to suffer, most of Kenyans are going to complain. And that is why we're having the problem when it comes to the shift from NHIF, that is National Hospital Insurance Fund, to this SHA, of course, the social health, of course, this is a social thing that is being implemented in the country. And Kenyans are saying hospitals, public hospitals, they are not accepting this SHA, which is causing a lot of confusions. But the president is saying he has the best methodology of changing this country. He has the best strategy for making this country move ahead. He is the man who is on a mission, and his mission is to change the situation of this country, that he will make sure Kenya will move to the next level in a few years. We have 2 years to 2025. That is 2027. That is when we will be having the general elections. And the president is saying that by then he will be ready to change the country. 5 years are gone. When will this government now change the situation of the country? That is what most of Kenyans are asking after the rumors that they want to increase the presidential term limit from 5 to 7. Now we're having 5 years for Kenya Kwanza government, but still Kenyans are complaining.
Na ndio sababu hiyo tukaamua vile vile kwamba tuunganishe taifa letu la Kenya, ndio mambo ya maendeleo yaendelee kwa kasi zaidi. In order to enhance the momentum of the development of our country, it is necessary that we harness the unity of our nation, the talents available, the energies available, the political goodwill available for us to increase the momentum of the development of our country. Competition is good because it gives us winners and losers. Unity is better because it creates a win-win formula for everybody. It creates winners without losers. Nobody loses in unity. Everybody wins. And that is why Waswahili wakasema umoja ni nguvu. Because in unity there are no losers. In unity we have winners and winners and winners. And that is why we decided, and I want to encourage us as a nation to think about not what is in it for politicians and leaders, but what is in it for the people of Kenya. Not to think about the interest of a political party or a political side or one region, but the interest of the collective population of a nation called Kenya. That is what is important, and that is what our focus is. So mimi nashukuru sana viongozi wote waliokubali tuungane, na nimesema na nitarudia, tunaunganisha taifa letu la Kenya sio kwa sababu ya kugawana vyeo ama kupanga ushindi wa siasa. Tunaungana na tunaunganisha Kenya kwa sababu ya kupanga vile transformation ya taifa letu la Kenya itaendelea kwa kasi, ndio services ifikie wananchi wengi zaidi, kilimo itembee kwa haraka zaidi, uchumi iimarike zaidi, mambo ya rollout ya universal health coverage, housing program na program zile zingine zote zitembee kwa kasi, kwa manufaa sio ya viongozi, manufaa ya wananchi milioni 50 wa taifa letu la Kenya. That is the reason why this unity, the reason why we are coming together is important. Na mimi nataka niwaulize wote ambao wanasikiza mwito huu, let us unite, let us work together, and let us focus on the interest of a nation called Kenya. Wengi, if every leader is focusing on their interest, who focuses on the interest of the people? Who focuses on the interest of the nation? That is important for us to think about. Kwa hivyo, mimi nawauliza sisi wote, tushirikiane, tufanye kazi pamoja, na I want to assure all Kenyans that nobody, no region, no community, no section of Kenya will be left behind. Sote tutatembea kwa pamoja, na Mungu atatujalia tufanye
strategy for the country. That is what the president is saying. Unity is calling for unity from Kenyans, is calling for unity from most of people. That is what the president is saying, that we maintain peace in this country. We stop this politics of division. This politics of division will not take this country to any level. That is what the president is saying. And of course, after what we are witnessing currently, because the Kenya Kwanza is having some of the differences with the opposition, the likes of Martha Karua, Kalonzo Musyoka, and other leaders, they are calling for a government to streamline its activities, to stop the abductions, and most of Kenyans are being abducted. We have seen also some of the scary images in the social media after what we saw the other day. Some of the critics from the people who write in the social media, they are facing tough situation when it comes to the current government, and also the opposition leaders are calling for government to stop vandalizing, because they are saying that a lot of money is being disposed to people who are not responsible. Some of the counties are suffering. Some of the counties in the northeastern part of Kenya, they are suffering. And some of the areas are facing developments. And that is one of the areas that is causing a lot of problems. And the other day, there was that issue whereby Ndindi Nyoro, of course, was dropped. He was dropped from a budgetary committee, and the issue is that he was channeling money to his own constituency, a Kiharu constituency, and that is why he was dropped from that position. And also, some of the leaders are saying that Mount Kenya will not have any leader, because they are trying to associate Mount Kenya leaders to Gachagua. Gachagua, of course, he is one of the leaders who has been calling the government to perform. One of the leaders who has been calling the government to do as it pertains and also he has been making sure that the government will deliver. That is Gachagua, after he was impeached. And he has been also giving some of the top secrets. You know, if I say some of the top secrets, you know what I mean, because you now know that Bomas of Kenya has been sold. The Bomas of Kenya has been sold. I mean, Gachagua said that we don't have the Bomas of Kenya. The Bomas of Kenya is now a beneficiary for one of the top people we have in this country. So if we are having the Bomas of Kenya now and those top government parastatals, we have the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, we have the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, we have those top parastatals that are owned by the government. So Gachagua here, he has been making a lot of headlines saying that we don't have those things because the president has people who will say yes to whatever he is doing. And that is what Gachagua is calling. He's calling the president for making sure that everything lies on its place. We don't have issues of development. We don't have issues of corruption, abductions, and so on. That is what the president is saying. He's calling for all those, of course, when it comes to the performance and also when it comes to maintaining the current issues in this country, because we are having Kenyans complaining about what is happening. We are having Kenyans complaining about abductions, Kenyans complaining high cost of living, and we are having few years before elections. We don't have the Iebc. We are having issues of development, broad-based joint, and it was absorbed
in this great town. Number two, mambo ya abductions, watu ya Kitengela waliumia sana. And you know, Reverend ulisema mambo ya watu keugeu. Huyu rais alitugeuka. Na nikumwambia tu, rais, wewe ulisema ni Mkristo. Watoto wadogo wanatekwa nyara na kuuawa na serikali yako. This is wrong. How can you profess to be a Christian, to be born again, yet the government that you lead is abducting and killing our children? Hata serikali ya mkoloni ambayo ilikuwa ni ya unyama na ukatili haikuteka watoto nyara na haikuua watoto. So hapo mimi ndio tulianza kupitania na rais. Na nikamwambia, these are our children. These are our sons and daughters. You are calling them criminals. They are not criminals. Ile tu wanataka ni haki ya Wakenya. Na kwa sababu wewe umemeza upinzani, nature abhors vacuum. Wamejitokeza kutetea Wakenya. I had a big problem with President William Ruto over abductions and extrajudicial killings. And if there is one reason, William Ruto, that will make the people of Kenya punish you, and the church is abducting and killing our children, they'll punish you. That one you cannot escape. Hata ukiungana na nani, hata ukitaja mabarabara ambayo iko, hii dhambi ya kuteka watoto nyara na kuwaua. Mimi najua tunaambiwa tukue watu ya kusameheana. Biblia inatuambia we forgive many times. But Reverend, I'm having a problem myself. Forgiving somebody who is abducting and killing our children, I have a big problem. Labda utaniombea roho yangu itulie. Because that is very painful. Because these are young children who are innocent. Na hao watoto ni kusema tu wamesema Kenya haitembei vizuri, ama iko makosa mengine wamefanya. So that one we have a problem. Again, maneno ya corruption. Nimwambia rais, tuliahidi watu tutawafanyia kazi, serikali imekuwa ni wizi tupu. Today as we speak, Bomas of Kenya imeuziwa Mturuki. Bomas of Kenya imeenda Ililetwa pale cabinet nikapinga peke yangu. Watu wengine yote hapo ni waoga, wakiona rais wanatetemeka namna hii. Mimi peke yake ndio nilisimama cabinet nikasema Bomas of Kenya is a national heritage and we cannot sell it. Imeuziwa Mturuki ambaye ni business partner ya mtu mkubwa sana katika hii serikali. Mnamjua. Hiyo Bomas imeenda. Na tena pale watu ya civil aviation walipinga. Wakasema the flight path to Wilson Airport ni hapo. Hiyo ndio flight path. It will be dangerous. Rais akafanya. Nilipokuwa mkali akawachana naye. Aliponifukuza sasa hakuna mtu ya kusema kitu. Watu pale yote ni flower gas. Umeona headline? Ni watu ya yes. Wanaitwa watu ya yes. Sasa pale this we are on our own, Reverend, as a country.
Viongozi wa Kenya wote, jameni, tuungane, tushirikiane. Ya muhimu sio uchaguzi wa 2027. Ya umuhimu sasa ni mpango ya transformation ya Kenya. Barabara tutakazojenga, maji tutakayofikisha kwa manyumba ya wananchi, stima tutakayofikisha kwa nyumba ya wananchi. Hawa vijana tuwapange na ajira, na wale wengine wote tuhakikishe ya kwamba tuna madawa katika mahospitali yetu. Na ndio mimi nataka niwaulize viongozi, let us unite so that we can have a plan and we can prosecute the agenda for the transformation of our nation. Matters 2027 will come and the people of Kenya will decide. For now, we must focus on making sure that we deliver on the commitments that we made. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that this administration, under my leadership, is going to focus on the transformation of Kenya, making sure that our teachers are in school, our children are being taught, our farmers have the support they need. We build roads, we connect electricity, we connect water, transform our nation. That is what is important for every Kenyan, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of the region they come from, irrespective of the religion they profess, irrespective of any other consideration. And that is why we must work together as leaders and as a nation. Na mimi nataka niwatahadharishe, upande ule mwingine ni watu hawana mpango, hawana sera, hawana ideas, hawana chochote. Ati mpango yao yote ni vile watagawanya wa Kenya. Kama hawasemi mambo ya ukabila, wanasema mambo ya sijui dini. Kama hawasemi mambo ya dini, wanasema sijui nani wa kutoka mulima, nani wa kutoka bonde, nani wa kutoka bara, nani wa kutoka ziwa, nani wa kutoka wapi. Kama hawafanyi hiyo, wanasema nani yako na kazi, nani hana kazi. Nani yako na payslip, nani hana payslip. Mimi nataka niwaambie hawa jamaa, if you want a semblance of a competition, look for an agenda. Leave division. Division will not get you anywhere. And the people of Kenya are resolved to unite so that together we can transform our nation. We cannot transform our nation divided. We will transform our nation united. And that is why we are united as a people of Kenya. Watu wa Mandera, munasema tuungane ama tutengane? Tuungane ama tutengane Mandera? Wale wanasema tuungane nione kwa mkono, wale wanasema tuungane. Tuko pamoja? Tuko pamoja? Kwa hivyo, mimi nimefurahi sana kufika hapa. Mimi niko hapa. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie ya kwamba vijana hawa are top on my priority kwa kupanga vile watapata ajira na vile tutatembea pamoja na nyinyi. Mandera, asanteni sana na wapenda.
President of the Republic of Kenya, when he was in Mandera, and that is contrary to what Gachagua is saying. He's saying that President is addressing some things which are not being implemented, and what he sees on the ground is totally different. That is what Gachagua is saying. And this is someone who has been in the government. He has been the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya for 2 years. And he says that he understands what is happening in the government. So he is saying that he will inject day by day, inject. Anasema atakuwa anadunga tu siku kila siku. So that is what is happening. The rival for 2027. But the president is saying, let's just give it time. Let's stop the campaigns for 2027 because these campaigns will not give us those developments. These campaigns will lead to division of Kenyans, something that will also affect the development of this country. Now, we are having issues of abductions. We are having issues of Mount Kenya being neglected after Gachagua being dropped. And I was following some of the conversation earlier, and it's like the mountain is under siege. The mountain is nowhere because Ndindi Nyoro, of course, he was dropped from one of the top positions, and he come from the mountain. And when he was questioned why he thinks he was dropped, he said for the last few months, since October, he has not talked with the president.
That I have not had any conversation directly or on phone with any leader of our coalition in regards to the position I used to hold. And I think if you look at it, it answers many things also, which I also don't want to go into. In terms of the relationship with other leaders, I respect everyone. I mean, I'm one of those people who believe there's no person who becomes a leader by just being fetched from wherever. There is always a process they go through. Because I am one, I know. And therefore, in terms of you've asked the relationship between the president and the former deputy president, the position I hold is that I respect every leader. And I could have things I need to talk about. I could have reservations on decisions made. But I don't think it has been within my role to talk about those things, especially in public. The other thing in that question is that maybe for clarity's sake, the last discussion I had with the president of the country, the last political discussion, either a chat or a discussion, as it were, was before October of last year. And I would not want, and you permit me to do that, not to discuss any further about any leader, because as you're all aware, I stopped serving in my position. It's barely a week. I also need to understand many things before I talk, because I believe as a leader, I mean, I lead people. There are people who look up to us as leaders. And therefore, even when you see that I am not answering some questions, it's not because I can't answer them. I believe you have covered me previously, and you know for sure that, respectively, in this world I only fear God. So whatever I need to say, I have no reservation of saying. But also, we are given wisdom to say when to say, how to say it. And I believe we are here in Kenya. We'll keep interacting. If there is more to be said, if there is more to be clarified, we are allowed. Ronnie, he has been to Kiharu, by the way, to cover. Kaoja hii ni maji ya dimu kidogo ndio. Ndio mkiuliza swali kwa ikuwe sawa. Ronnie, you've been to Kiharu, and I am grateful. And by the way, I want to request anyone who would want to come to Kiharu to look at what we've been doing. We are more than glad to host you. We don't do these things, especially of hosting people, because we want to blow our own trumpet. We do these things because I am convinced that if leaders started competing on the basis of what they are doing, the country would become better wholesomely. If our competition as leaders is deliverables, and we compete about who is doing what in terms of tangibles and development, is a very good discussion that you'd have as MPs, for example, because we hold CDF, and that is the reason why we would be glad even to host you. We have hosted, I think, 4 delegations of my colleagues in Kiharu on benchmarking exercises. We actually don't call them benchmarking. We call them peer-to-peer learning, because I also learn from them. I am not a no.
That is Nyoro Ndindi, and he's saying that since October last year, he has not talked to the president. So he was addressing the media, and after what happened, he was dropped from the budgetary committee in the parliament, and yet to address the media. But though he was very keen when it comes to addressing the media, responding to some of the questions over there. And I have also seen how keen this guy is. Of course, I've read the history of Ndindi Nyoro, and from what I see is that he is one of the leaders who is very brilliant. He is learned, and even before joining the parliament, he was rich. You know, most of the members of parliament, or most of the members of county assembly, whenever they join the government, whenever they join either the parliament, they first channel money to their accounts, and that is why when they channel their money to the accounts, that is when Kenya now goes down when it comes to development. But Ndindi Nyoro, since he was in the parliament, you go to Kiharu, and also he is welcoming anyone to Kiharu. It's like he has done a good job. You have also seen the kind of development that are in Kiharu, and you question yourself why he was dropped. Others say that he has channeled a lot of money to his own constituency, and that is what really made members of parliament to drop him. Otherwise, if at any point you channel the money and the current development, then that is what people want. Kenya Kwanza government does it mean that the Kenya Kwanza government does not need progress? I've also seen what is happening in the social media. There is also a fight between the Ministry Media House and also the government. Freedom of press is being not witnessed in the country, and also the opposition is calling for a strong economy so that Kenya can move ahead. We heard Nyoro today speaking, and he was in that barrier for one of the police officers who lost his lives in IT.
Iko inaendelea mambo yetu yote, najua Mungu atatujalia hata tufanye mengi kabisa. Na mimi vile nilisema jana, nashukuru kwa ile nafasi nimekuwa nayo hapo mbeleni kabisa. Nimepewa na Wakenya nafasi kabisa, wakanipea nafasi nikatumikia katika pale nilikuwa, na mimi kwa roho yangu sina maneno ya chuki, na sina ile hatred, na sina mambo ambayo ni ya kunikwaruza roho. Mimi sina. Na hata yule amechukua hiyo kiti pia ni Mkenya, mimi namtakia kila laheri. Na kwa ile ujuzi nimekuwa nayo kwa hiyo kiti, kwa hiyo miaka nimekuwa hapo michache, Mungu akinipea nafasi, hata mwenye amekalia kiti akiniuliza hapa kuna itanga aje, mimi namueleza kiroho safi kabisa, kwa sababu mimi sitaki kuwa mbinafsi, kwa sababu whatever we want to do, whatever we want to do, all our ambitions and aspirations, everything we seek to do, haiwezi fanyika bila baraka kabisa. Na kwa hivyo bariki wengine, wewe achilia maneno, ukae mtu free bila maneno mingi kwa roho kabisa. Fanya kazi kabisa. Kenya iende mbele namna vile inastahili. Sasa hii ambayo tumekuja kulaunch siku ya leo hapa, na mnaiona hapa ni maridadi sana. Na mimi nawashukuru sana ambao wote mmeshiriki. Wale walipewa kazi ya ufundi, wale walipewa kazi ya mkono. I can guarantee you, hii ujenzi ambayo iko hapa Mtu hata akiwaambia hii ni nyumba ya mtu mkubwa sana hii Kenya, anaweza kubali ya kwamba hii ni nyumba ya mtu mkubwa hapa Kenya, sio? Hiyo ni kuonyeshana ya kwamba watu wa mjini pia na watu wa Kiharu sub county Kiharu division pia ni watu wakubwa, kwa sababu hii ni nyumba yao. Na hii ujenzi itakuwa inasimamia maofisi kadhaa. Ofisi ya kwanza ambayo iko hapa mpaka na balcony ni ofisi ya assistant county commissioner ambayo itakuwa hapa. Tuko na ofisi hapa chini pia ya chief. Tuko na ofisi ya assistant chief. Watu wa lands, watu wa mashamba pia wao walikuwa wameuliza tuwape ofisi, na hata sio kuuliza. Hiyo ofisi
that is a leader who is working. And they're saying that is why they dropped him in the parliament. They're saying that is the main reason that made Ndindi Nyoro to be dropped. He is being selfish with money, not distributing money. But you follow what Sabina Chege said, is that they are trying to sacrifice Ndindi Nyoro, and he has helped a lot of people. Sabina Chege said that she does not agree with what is being done in the parliament. Some of the members of parliament are being cornered, and yet others, they benefited from some of the leaders. She's saying that that is bad, and one day they will also be caught into that direction. So it's like now there is that vuta ni kuvuta in the parliament. There is that push, and I will pull back. That is what is happening. Because if leaders are fighting, so what about if leaders are fighting each other? What about the common mwananchi? Where is the future of the common mwananchi? Of course, remember, if you're joining us here for the first time, this is Africa 24, and this is a political discussion. We're having it every 10 p.m. West African time, and we're having this wonderful discussion here in Africa 24. Make sure you subscribe to Africa 24. If you're following us for the first time, like, comment, and share, and that is the only way you are going to support this big channel.
So, Speaker, for the chairs to take the committee work very seriously. A lot of work is done at the committee, and sometimes, Mr. Speaker, what comes here on the floor, sometimes members vote even without understanding the concept or the content. So it's upon the chairs and vice chairs to make sure that when a subject comes in, and especially I want just to quote what my colleague was saying about the finance bill. I think last time there was a lot of politics that played in between. And Mr. Speaker, out of this House, then Kenyans really took offense with the finance bill. So I hope, Mr. Speaker, as now we have come to the second half of the term of our tenure, that will be objective, Mr. Speaker, that we are going to make sure that we communicate well to the public. This is a position that also comes with a lot of responsibility. We saw our colleagues, and I just want to say, sorry to the Chair of Finance, whose even house had to be banned, for a responsibility that he took as being a chair of the Finance Committee. So sometimes you'll have to take huge responsibilities. And I also want to urge them, when the government officials comes in, whether it's PSs or CSs, let us not be cause with them. Let us push them, because our role is oversight. Once we allocate finances to them, let us also make sure that we follow up on how they are using these finances. We have some PSs who allocate finances as they wish. Mr. Speaker, it is good that we play our oversight role very well, so that we make sure this government is about broad-based. At the committee level, that's where we are able to allocate the finances to the projects that mwananchi, the person on the ground, will feel that the government is concerned. And that is maybe what Honorable was saying about serving Kenyans. We are all serving Kenyans. Congratulations to the new team. Put your best foot forward, because we are on half term now. We need to redeem. And Mr. Speaker, just as I finish, let us also not cast aspersions or accuse our own colleagues, because what happens to your colleague today, it can happen to you tomorrow. We know chairs are their positions. I have been a chair, Mr. Speaker, and I've said that. A lot of these colleagues will approach you and come and tell you, help us on this, or call so and so on my behalf. So when the chairs offer themselves, and I am very sure, and unfortunately allow me, because I come from Murang'a County, to speak about Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, who was the chair of Budget Committee. He assisted very many members here. But when his time came, the same members, Mr. Speaker, were there casting aspersions and trying to show like Ndindi was favoring himself. Please let's remember the small deeds that our colleagues help us to do at their own, because they are that privileged position. And let us not accuse each other, because you never know. I want to personally congratulate Honorable Nikal. I served with him at the Health Committee. He has gone through all the ranks in the health ministry. And I'm very sure, Honorable Nikal, even as I move my bill, my motion, that you'll be of good help to give insight that we have very, very, very good public hospitals. You know, at our tenure in the Health Committee, we have a fantastic facility called Kenyatta University Referral Hospital that is better, Mr. Speaker, than any other private facility in East and Central Africa. But even majority of my colleagues don't know about it, Mr. Speaker. It is a state-of-art facility with more than 300 bed capacity, which has a capacity of 600 bed capacity. And that facility, Mr. Speaker, we do not even need to use any private facility. We can go to KU, give back the money to the public, where we can be able to have enhanced medical care. So, Mr. Speaker, as I congratulate my colleagues.
Majibu, my brother from K24.
Yes.
You've asked about Kiharu. I am always available to share our experiences in Kiharu. More than available. I mean, I have had sessions with my colleagues, and I have explained to them basically what we do is optimization, labor-based implementation of projects. It saves us the profit that would have been made by the contractor. It also saves us a lot of cost. It guarantees quality also. And because it's something that needs a lot of time to explain, I am sure I'll give you some time. And yes, ameuliza pia wale wabunge walisema mambo bugeni last week, nitasema nini? Nitasema, uniruhusu niseme kwa kimombo. As I said before, politics is up and downs. And politics is mutually exclusive, because the things we chase for are the same. So sometimes, for a position to be created, one person has to forgo the years. And therefore, it's always a chase. So, you also have to define yourself as a leader, the things you want to engage in. And respectively, as I say so, if I ask you as my brothers and sisters who are here, I ask you what Kibaki told anyone in the year 2008 when he was president, you'd hardly remember. You'd have to go to your files to check what Kibaki said. But if you travel through or on Thika Road Superhighway, you don't need to remember anything Kibaki said. You see it with your own eyes. So me, I believe that, yes, we have to talk as leaders, because you have to explain where you are going, where you've come from. I mean, you cannot lock yourself in a room. You have to talk. But in many instances, I find that what is far-reaching and what is permanent and what is objective is more what you do than what you say. And therefore, in terms of what was said and whoever said it last week in Parliament, I would not be provoked to answer evil with evil, neither will I be provoked to answer an insult with insult. Time answers many things. Time answers so many things. I mean, if I allege, for example, if I come here and allege Kajim here is actually not from Kenya, and I say, no, I have evidence, he's actually not from Kenya. Only time. He may not need to say much. The truth and the facts have a way of outliving words. And I hold no grudge against anyone. It is too burdensome to carry any hatred. It is too heavy to carry any ill will against anyone. I mean, you can only do that to the advantage of the people who calculate to make you wander from your path. Oh, sorry, Aden, and I think I'm taking too long to answer questions. Aden, allow me today, you've asked me to rate the government. You know I've been chairman of budget. Definitely, I am likely to be subjective. In terms of rating of government, allow me not to answer that now because I just left this position.
That is Ndindi Nyoro. But he was asked a lot of questions over there. And number one is that whoever is creating positions through enmity, Nyoro is saying that he is not able to create enmity with anyone. So if we are there creating enmity positions, trying to divide other communities, then he's saying that he will not answer evil with evil. But you know, there are some of members of parliament. For example, the clip I'm going to play next speaks about some of the members of parliament. We are having a lot of problems when it comes to division of when it comes to distribution of these resources and of course public resources, because when you compare Kenya, only in Nairobi CBD and some parts when you go that you can witness development. Personally, I one day that was sometimes back I went to Rift Valley, for example, in the parts of Baringo, and I also went to Wajir. I have seen what is happening over there, and people are really suffering. And you see, those counties, they have governors, they have women rep, they have members of parliament, and you see the kind of underdevelopment that are witnessed there, and you wonder, why do you have devolution in this country? Because if we are a serious country, when you watch some of the things that happens in the United States of America, then you know that Kenya will need 1,000 years to transform from one development to the other, because we are having money being vandalized. Corruption cases are increasing day by day, and that is what is increasing a lot of cases of underdevelopment. You're given money to build roads, hospitals, schools, then you'll just start something that is temporarily. At the end of the day, after 2 years, then you'll come back there to build another one. So development is key in this country, and we are having the Vision 2030. Vision 2030 is happening in the next 5 years. Now we are in the year 2025. Are we serious? Are we ready for Vision 2030? That is what maybe we are asking. Are we ready for Vision 2030? Because Vision 2030 will need us to work and will need us to spearhead our development so that we can feature our developments in the Vision 2030. We did it back in few years, that is almost few years ago, and now we are having few years to 2030. Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, you go to Rwanda. Rwanda, of course, they want to host Formula One, and you know, for you to host Formula One, you need to have a lot of developments. Kenya, still, we are playing away in all our competition. We don't have stadium. That is how you can see Kenya developments are very low, because if you cannot have a national stadium, just a carpet and a stadium and a place where fans can sit, then what about hospitals? What about schools? What about roads? What about other social amenities that need to be catered for, that can be used by the common mwananchi?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to add a few things to what the majority leader said. Mr. Speaker, this issue of RMLF has been on this floor now for some time, even since last Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I have come to realize, there is a systematic program going on in this country to disconnect members of this House from the public completely. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where that plan is hatched, Mr. Speaker, whether it is in the executive or in the judiciary or somewhere. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious plan to disconnect members of parliament, especially members of the National Assembly, from the public, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, people tell you that it is not your work to bring development to the people. If I cannot bring development to my people, what is the constitutional requirement of representation? You represent people so that you can speak on their behalf on the floor of the House to get resources to the public, Mr. Speaker, if I understand it well. Mr. Speaker, this is something that this House will not accept. Mr. Speaker, look at what's happening in the counties. We are not against devolution. We completely support devolution, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, we have to analyze since the last 10 or 12 years whether devolution has worked for this country. The only things we see in devolution is conferences every year that shows us beans, ndengu, carrots, cucumber, cassavas grown in our areas, Mr. Speaker. Those things have been happening since independence. My grandmother has been growing cassava since Kenya became independent, Mr. Speaker. That's what you are being shown in devolution conferences. There is nothing serious that has happened in terms of devolution since devolution came into place, Mr. Speaker. Truth must be said. We must be truthful to the people, Mr. Speaker. Sure. Look at the amount of money that has been devolved in this country. Trillions of shillings since devolution came into place. Nothing to show for it. Nothing, completely nothing, Mr. Speaker. Let's be honest to Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, we don't want to describe them as devolved corruption. But people are preoccupied. Mr. Speaker, can we have order here? People are preoccupied with the little money that has been devolved through NGCDF, little money that has been devolved to the constituencies through RMLF, and people don't take note of the billions of shillings that are being devolved every financial year, Mr. Speaker. Counties are getting their money. They are never in arrears. Even if they're in arrears, it's 1 month, 2 months, in the end the money goes down to the ground. There are counties that are holding billions of shillings in their central bank accounts. I was reading in the newspaper the other day that there are counties that have not spent 48 billion shillings, Mr. Speaker. They are lying idle in their account. And they are still demanding for more money. They're saying, oh, the national government has not devolved. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, these people who are calling themselves here Nairobi, Kera and Kura, these people must know that these are organs of national government. They are not part of county government. They are oversighted by this House. This Director General of Kera, Mr. Speaker, this man is a joker. I can tell you for truth. He thinks that he is supposed to report to counties. Which governor oversights him? Which county government oversights him? That man must be dragged here to this House under full committee of the full House, Mr. Speaker. And he must be told in no certain terms that he is supposed to report to the National Assembly, Mr. Speaker. This is a man who thinks that he is supposed to work with county government. Which county government is giving him money? Mr. Speaker, you can go around to every constituency today, and we'll take you around as a speaker. The roads that are maintained by constituency development, by this RMF through the constituency, are known. In every constituency, there are not even more than 4 or 5. Majority of the roads are classified as county roads, and they're in pathetic condition, all of them. And they're asking for the RLMF for the constituency. The ones for the constituency are well maintained. Actually, the national government is trying its best to even tarmac majority of the county roads. Mr. Speaker, we cannot take this thing anymore lying down. We will put our foot down. We are tired of these shenanigans of counties and judiciary all the time saying CDF is unconstitutional, and these people are enjoying their monies. They are not delivering any services to the public, and the people who are supposed to do that work are being curtailed, Mr. Speaker. This matter must come to an end, and we are going to pass, as the majority leader said, the county revenue allocation, the extra money we are giving them through the bill that has been brought here, without RLMF. If they don't want money, the bill will get stuck here for good. You can continue with the one that you have been given at the beginning of the year. And I want to tell the Council of Governors, please, don't joke with members of Parliament. They have been elected just like the way you have been elected. Your votes, we got votes the same way you got votes. Some of you, we just go through waves. You know, there are people who are saying, when the new constitution was being formulated, governors should have been appointed job. There are people who are saying that. We can amend the constitution. If need be. So, Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, we are saying, let us respect everyone's work as enshrined in the constitution and in the laws, Mr. Speaker, and we must make sure that we are not supposed to be made like we are not supposed to bring any development to our constituency. A governor told me, Mr. Speaker, he told me on my face that, you know, your work is representation and oversight. You are just to go and make noise in parliament. That is all. That's your work. You don't have any other work. I told him, my friend, when we are going to do the division of revenue bill, we will give you very little money if you talk like that. That's when you will realize what power has the constitution given to the National Assembly. So, Mr. Speaker, we support the devolution, but the county, what is this thing called? The Council of Governors. This is a more first thing first. It's not in the constitution. I don't know, it's in the County Government Act or something, Mr. Speaker, which we can repeal even that one. They must respect members of parliament henceforth. And that is not anything we are begging for. Mr. Speaker, it's an order, and we will stand firm to make sure that our constituency gets development as required by law.
That is Junet Mohammed, the Suna member of parliament, and he was lecturing the kind of things that are happening. We are having poor developments in the counties, a lot of money not being accounted for, and that is why we are having a lot of people complaining. And of course, we are having a lot of underdevelopments, and this is one issue that will make Kenya not to move and also to advance to the next step. Of course, we are having a lot of people complaining. Counties, only few counties are being involved into this development. Others are still stagnant when it comes to development. And this is one issue that is also needs that concentration. We need to focus on it so that we can develop, because Kenya is a country that also needs to develop so that we can match up with other developing countries. I was long time, my good friend, I have not seen you. I think that which parts of Baringo, because in many aspects, Baringo is doing better than Ukambani, despite the size of the region. And also, I concur with the Sunnaist, we have nothing to show for the billions devolved to the counties. We need to check where we have come from, since we have had a devolved county government. That is in the comment section there. Awesome, my good friend, awesome. Bado nangoja hiyo 500 yangu pale kwa M-Pesa. Anyway, that is the comment section there. Continue setting the comments over there. That is what we will be happy for as Africa 24. As you join the conversation through the comment section, and make sure you subscribe to Africa 24 YouTube channel. That is also another way you can support this big channel here, as we discuss some of the political happenings in this country. Now, we heard also today Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa having that, attending that burial, whereby one of the police officer was, of course, he was injured and he lost his life while in Haiti. And they are complaining. I heard Eugene Wamalwa complaining about the current situation in the country, where we are having a lot of insecurities, and yet we are sending police officers to the Haiti so that they can maintain peace over there. And there are a lot of things that are resonating when it comes to this Haiti mission. Someone might be benefiting. That is what they're saying, that there was a relationship between Kenya, America, and the Haiti. A lot of speculations are being said, but from my own point of view, if they are helping the people of Haiti to gain that peace, then it's important. If we're having extra police officers, then let's send them to that place so that they can help also the human beings, and that is something that we need also to focus on. So we're having a lot of issues being questioned over here. And one thing I've been following is that the opposition government led by Kalonzo Musyoka, today also, of course, he is in the opposition because you have the broad-based government. And this broad-based government was formed so that they can also help the Kenya Kwanza government, Raila Odinga and his crew, so that they can run the country in the right way without a lot of problems. Because you cannot just run the country alone. This country needs a lot of people, ideas, so that they can contribute those ideas so that we can move ahead. And that's why we have the broad base. And they discussed some, as it was agreed in the memorandum of understanding over there, they had a lot of discussions whereby they sealed some of the things that need to be done. And if the broad-based government is going to make Kenya move ahead, then that is what Kenyans want. There is no one who wants to become the president. We cannot become the president, all of us. We only have one president, but developments will be utilized by every Kenyan. We shall utilize development from every part. So developments are only meant for Kenyans. So president, let them just have that coalition, let them talk, but developments we will witness all of us in the 47 counties that we have in this country. So the broad-based government, let's see their work. We be positive at any point because the negativity will not lead us to any point.
Wakati umeenda, hatukuja hapa kisiasa, tumekuja kumwenzi kijana Samuel Tompoi Kaitwai ambaye amehudumu kama askari, one of our finest, because kwamba alikuwa kwanza amechaguliwa kwenda meant he was one of the finest, because this is a kind of mission unaweza kumpeleka tu ambaye ni kurutu. So Bwana Masengeli, although it's a serious occasion, allow me to congratulate you. A lot of good things have been said about you. Huyu Bwana Masengeli tulimuhitaji sana kwa mahakama. Vijana wetu waliachiliwa, wale walikuwa wameshikwa locally abductees. Na tulikuwa tunauliza ndugu yetu Masengeli, inawezekanaje kwamba nyumbani tuna abduct watoto wetu vile vile. Kwa hivyo tukakuja wewe. I can tell you that. Because I've watched your demeanor, and thank you because you're in charge of a very important service. Ndugu yetu Bwana, it's good to see you, National Security Advisor, Deputy, I think dada yetu aliyekuwa minister kutoka huko Ukambani, I think, and your team. Mheshimiwa Senator, I want to tell you, yule mtoto, and it is true, Naomi ni mtoto, hata mkimwangalia ako na watoto wachanga wawili. But huyu kijana shupavu ameacha kijana, ameacha msichana, jina lake linaendelea. Lakini huyo mama atahitaji kuwalea kwa kiwango ambacho umeelezea Bwana Masengeli. Ninaona kama amesikia. But huyu mtoto ametoka, niliuliza nikaambiwa na Deputy Governor Moshisho kwamba aliwacha at Form 3. She's too young. This young mother can study until she becomes a university graduate. Mimi nakupa hiyo kazi dada yetu, because I know the passion with which you look at a fellow. Huyu mtoto kwanza asome. Mimi mheshimiwa uliyesema tiga wanakataa. Huyu mtoto apatiwe kazi.
Official opposition leader Kalonzo Musyoka, when he was in that burial ceremony, and we are trying to help the family when it comes to their heartfelt condolences, and also trying to support the family when it comes to the needs. Of course, after the police officer lost his life, now Inspector General was there and they tried to discuss some of the things. So remember, this is our Freak 24 political discussion. If you're joining us for the first time, remember to always subscribe, like, comment, and share to our YouTube channel. It's the only way you can support this big channel. Like, comment, and follow us in all social media platforms, and we will appreciate as a Freak 24 family.